broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Let that buzz begin, Phil Svitek. That's right. That's the ticket there. Season 6, episode 26 already of Shark Tank here on AFTERBUZZ TV. I am Cameron Lewis at the Only Camshaft on Twitter and the Instagram machines. That's Phil Svitek in the booth with me.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Steph Z is over at Stagecoach, but she will be back in time for Behind the Tank.
I'm excited about that. It's important that we have Steph Z in here for that one. There's a lot of hype for this one, the Behind the Tank show. I'm excited for that program. Join us on Twitter, hashtag ABTV Shark Tank. Subscribe, iTunes, SoundCloud, anywhere you can find a podcast here at AFTERBUZZ TV. Let's hop right into tonight's show, Phil, with Zen Pack.
I thought this was great. This was wonderful. I really like the idea. I think there's a lot of potential for it. They've already got some major people involved.
Yeah.
And I feel like you need to make a bigger partnership with like Live Nation, Ticketmaster, whatever the case may be, or go directly to an agency like WME, CAA, whatever the case may be, wherever the most musical artists are, and grab them.
Yeah, this is a great idea, I think. We'll have to ask Steph Z next week about the tickets for Stagecoach and things like that. But I'm pretty sure they come in some kind of package like this, yeah?
Not like this. I mean, this was really personalized. They were talking about what was the band that they did?
I wrote it. There's a bunch of them. There's a country band. Florida Georgia Line, I think. I could be very wrong about that, though, so don't quote me on it.
Yeah, I mean, the point being they did it on a mass scale, and they were very personalized. I mean, it's similar to, for me, what I can equate it to the WWE for their pay-per-views. The floor seats are special chairs, and you can walk out with that special chair. So
what?
Yeah, you get to do that.
That's crazy.
I know. And so this just feels very personalized, and I absolutely love this. They're making some good profit. I think a lot of the Sharks were kind of circling because they thought it was a good idea, so they wanted to get a little bit more maybe. But they said, hey, no. The $3 million we've made is year to date. We're projected to make $4 million, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, and just to remind everybody, Zen Pack is the additional content for physical media, essentially. In case you forgot exactly what that is. And I really like this too, like you were saying. I like the idea of, instead of letting like CDs and that kind of media die, they're making it new again by kind of breathing this new life into it with the extra stuff. Instead of saying, hey, CDs are the thing of the past, they're saying, hey, CDs are still pretty cool to have something physical. And they're making it better instead of saying, hey, we're just going to let it die. Which I like, because I like a good CD still, or a vinyl or anything. And I think it's interesting for a business model that they are able to add content for artists in between albums as well. I think that's super valuable because...
That's huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, it could be any number of things, really. And I love this type of story, and this happens a lot in the tank, where these women, they kind of ran into each other. They were frustrated at their job, and the one woman thought of this idea in college, which is great. I mean, it's a really good idea. I think it's a really good idea. $725,000 for 10% is what they were seeking in the tank there. Interesting that they have a pretty exclusive deal with Walmart, I thought.
Which, by the way, I mean, Walmart's starting to do some major things. They're going to put out their own movies and things like that.
They're what?
Yeah, movies.
What? Rollback movies?
When you have that amount of foot traffic, when you have that, like...
Right.
it's the wave of the future. Like soon I wouldn't be shocked to see Target doing the same thing. Like you are a major. The number one thing when you make a movie is distribution and things like that, or music. It's to get it out there. Well, if you're Walmart, you get that. You can be your own distribution. Why not?
Man, I mean, what a world we live in now. I love it. Let's see here. It's such a cool idea because it makes the tangible thing more tangible. It makes the souvenirs more souvenir-like. I just like the fact that just buying a ticket alone to something is a souvenir enough. You know what I mean? Instead of having to go to the thing, to like Stagecoach or to one of these concerts that they did with, I think they said they worked with AC/DC at one point. I like that ticket becomes the actual souvenir. And they said that for one of the shows, they did unique tickets for every single person.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's ridiculous. But it's awesome because it makes the experience more special. Projected $8 million next year. They've had $30 million in the last 3.5 years, which is not hard to believe given the deal with Walmart, I think. Kevin offered $725, 35%. Damon offered $725 at 30%. Lori and Robert $725 at 20%. Everybody else dropped down a few times. They countered at 14%. And I think that was a comfortable thing to do. They have a good thing going, obviously. So Lori and Rob agreed 17%.
Yeah, I thought that was fair.
Yeah.
It wasn't too greedy, but it also showed the Sharks that they were willing to do some wiggle room, and they got 2 Sharks.
Yeah.
So you have to account for that. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, they could be, to me, one of the most successful people, if not the successful people, to walk into that tank. To make $30 million, and I understand it's over the course of 3.5 years.
No, that's pretty good.
Even the successful people that go to the Shark Tank, in the updates, we made $2 million in that year. That's quite
Yeah, and
big.
The other thing that I thought they did especially well is you have a lot of people who come in with strong sales, and they ask the question, why do you need the money? Yeah. And they actually had a valid reason. They said, we need the money, kind of, but really we need the Sharks because we want to expand to other spaces, because right now they're mostly in the music space, and they want to branch out to doing more content that is not directly tied to albums and things like that. I think that was a valid reason and I think that the Sharks accepted that pretty well. And I don't know, they just seem to have it really well thought out.
I mean, they did it. There's no... Yeah. A lot of times, and we'll kind of even talk about it today, there's the proof of concepts, there's the ones that are sort of on the cusp of possibly making it. Like, these guys have made it.
Yeah.
And for them, I mean, they've latched on to something that they're the tip of the iceberg, but the tip of the iceberg is $30 million.
Right.
This could be literally $1 billion business.
Right, that's the thing. You have to remember, I had to remind myself watching this, this is only on a Walmart deal. This is the only people they've been dealing with up until this point. So making $30 million in the last 3.5 years in a Walmart, that's freaking awesome. Congrats, Zen Pack. I think it was well-deserved, Phil.
Absolutely.
So yeah, they got a deal with Lori and Rob, 17%. I think that was good couple Sharks to go with. I think they probably were wanting some kind of deal with Mark for the sporting events and stuff, but I think they'll
because they looked right to him immediately, and because you think the Mavericks and things like that.
Yeah,
and plus the theater chains that he has and whatever else, and he's like, I'm not interested. Yeah, that's not what he said, but yeah.
But yeah. All right, anything else on Zen Pack there, Phil?
I think ultimately they got a great... I know they were going probably for Mark and things like that, but I really do believe that they ended up with 2 amazing Sharks that are going to really fight for them and have a lot to offer them, and together they can really grow this business.
Yeah, and this is one of those deals too where you have to remember what you're dealing with on a regular basis, which is media, music, fun things. So you want to kind of have people that are going to be fun to work with too. And I think Lauren and Rob would be fun to wear. But I don't. But the teasers for Beyond the Tank, Rob looks like he's dishing out the truth, man.
Yeah,
I
but
want to
it's
look
also,
out for him.
It also, I mean, you know, you have to just. They're going to be very demanding.
Sure.
And with them in particular, they seem like two women that can handle it.
Yeah.
Whereas some other people, like, yeah, they can do well, but can they really rise now to the challenge?
Right.
I mean, you know, you have people that, okay, I can imagine, let's say, some of them we've seen made $500,000.
Yeah.
Right? Now, it takes a lot more effort and resolve and whatever else you want to kind of categorize it under to go from that to $1 million to 2 to 3, 5, 10, 20, 30, you know?
Right.
And so, you know, some people don't have it to go beyond that, which is fine. You know, again, there's as we've talked about, there's people in the Shark Tank that, you know what, this is more of a thing, and you do it and make 30 to, you know, some people make $100,000 off of it, but beyond that, no.
Yeah,
but
and
for you,
there's
it's
a place
comfortable
for that.
living. It's a business.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Let's move on to Snag a Stool. I just know
Dumbest
that this
thing
is
I've
gonna
ever
be
seen.
this is gonna be one you let loose on.
Dumbest piece of
I mean,
heard of. Literally. Okay. First off, may I recommend Open Table,
yes,
please? Like,
Yeah.
you've heard of this?
yeah,
Okay, great. See, I don't even need to advertise this because Open Table is very similar to this, except it's not just a stupid stool. It's a whole reservation thing and blah, blah. It exists, first and foremost.
it makes sense because that's tables. It's so much different than sitting at the bar. If you're going to these, okay, let's remind everybody, this is an app where you reserve a bar stool at a bar, and that's it.
And the problem, and I really love what Robert kind of came out of the gate with strong, was the fact of, okay, if it's busy, you know, then basically you're taking away 2 seats possibly for X amount of time.
Right.
First and foremost. When it's not busy, I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
And, you know, through this app, am I gonna go specifically to this app? Is it like Grubhub or any of those other places or Yelp where I discover a restaurant and I'm like, ooh, I want to go there. Let me make sure my bar stools are ready because of the happy hour. No, I don't.
No.
I don't think so. And especially, you only got 3 bars at the moment. Obviously, can I expand? Yes.
But there's no need for it. That's the thing, is there's no need for it. As Robert said, you're selling what already sells out anyways. There's no benefit to the bar because the bar, they're going to fill the seats. I mean, there obviously are bars out there that, you know, don't fill the seats, but those aren't the bars you're going to be reserving stools for. The ones you're reserving stools at are the places you go to watch the game with all the people and you want to make sure you get your stool. So there's no reason whatsoever for the bars to get involved, which is kind of backwards to me.
Yeah, I mean, they were on the right path. Like, the only way this could work is if you can guarantee the bar, like, hey, normally you make $500 on
Right,
this
that
bar
model
stool,
worked.
but I can guarantee you $1,000 instead.
Right.
Okay, how to do that? I have no idea. It just seems now all of a sudden you're becoming a promoter. It just seems like so much work for this. So the ROI between sweat equity and capital is just not something that I want to be in business with. And sometimes you got to just recognize that this idea is just not worth it. Does it work? Could it work? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's just going to take an army to try to do.
How big of a D-bag would you look like walking up to somebody at the bar and saying, excuse me, that one's reserved for me? I mean, that would start some fights, right?
That's kind of what Lori was saying.
Yeah, and I agree with her. I mean, I can't imagine. I'd be pissed if I went into a bar and it's crowded and the game is on and I'm trying to find seats with my friends and there's 6 bar stools that are taken up in front. That's not how it works. And he was trying to also sell them on the fact that you're selling an experience, and it's not really. I don't really agree with that. Because you're going to get the experience of watching the game there, whether or not you use the app for it.
Yeah, here's the thing. Getting the experience comes down to the bartenders, right?
Right.
So if through this app, obviously they can know my name and things like that. So as soon as I walk in, they're like, "Ooh, it's the only camshaft and Phil from AFTERBUZZ TV's Shark Tank. Welcome. What's it going to be?" And maybe it's one of those things that we can pre-order our drinks in that way. When we come down there, they're
now,
ready.
Now that is an element, if added, it sounds like it's going more down the right path. Pre-ordering the drinks. But again, I don't know how many people, the kind of people that go to the bar to watch the game, are those the kind of people that would spend an extra X amount of dollars just to reserve a seat at the bar? I don't know.
I don't know. It's kind of Again, this is where you have to get really scientific, and I don't think they're at this level, but having done bar rescue and various things, you look at, based off of, let's say we've done this once or twice before, based off our history, you try to take what we like, and then an item from, let's say, the food menu that's, kind of within the more lower price range items, and give it to us for free. Right. So now we're enticed. Now we're gonna try to get maybe more appetizers, this, that, when we'll get. But the whole idea is now you're gonna try to upsell us on, instead of getting like the cheap drinks, get cocktails. But there's a whole science to it.
Yeah, and
but that falls on the bars and beyond. It's just so many things that have to align to make this really great, and it's just not worth it.
Yeah, there's a big risk of people walking in and going, "Well, crap, there's 12 stools reserved. We're going to the one across the street."
Yeah.
I don't know, but Snag is Stool. They did not get a deal. I'm curious to follow up on this one to see if it picks up at all.
They were in 3 bars in Boston.
Yeah.
I feel like you got to get more people on board.
Yeah.
And I like Mark's point about the, if there's a reserve sign at like a club table, then you're good. But the problem is those tend to have minimums.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So much so that, at Access, a table is worth $30,000 for the night. Other tables are obviously not so high, but bottle service, the least expensive bottle service I've ever seen is $200.
Yeah. All right. That is a world I do not relate to at all. I also don't like that we're creating apps to solve all these problems that aren't really problems. It's just kind of like, hey, deal with it. Like there's the Snag Stool, the app that finds you a parking spot, the app that lets you know if a table's empty at the restaurant, the app that lets you know if it's like, can we just like get over it? You know what I mean? Like, can we just not be on the phone all the time?
I'm going to make an app that funnels all your complaints, Cameron.
Please do. That is the one that people want, Phil. The people want it. The only complaint shaft app. I don't know. That's bad. Any other thoughts on Snag Stool there, Phil?
That's it. I think I've ranted enough.
All right. Well, let's remind everybody to subscribe in iTunes, rate us, comment. We want to hear from you. Hashtag ABTV Shark Tank is the Twitter hashtag there at AFTERBUZZ TV. Again, let's see here. We have Buck Mason. I liked this one. I liked Buck Mason because...
This is so your style, by the way.
Is it? You think so?
I mean, if I could do a picture, I could do a picture, but I don't have the picture. But picture with you and the shirts and them, you guys would look similar.
Well, the thing I like about it is I kind of agree with these guys. Like, I want to look good, right? I want to look put together. I don't want to look like a slob and unprofessional, but I don't really care about fashion in any way, in the sense that I'm not plugged into that world. I don't know what brand I'm wearing. Patterns don't really mean anything to me. So the fact that it's just a nice plain t-shirt with nice plain jeans, American made, Phil, I can dig it. I can dig it. Now that being said, there's a price that comes with being American made. In the jeans, it's $135. T-shirts, it's $24. Button-down shirts is $88 right now at Buck Mason. I think that's a little high. The jeans I might do. The shirt maybe. T-shirt for $24. I don't think I'd do that.
Here's the thing. Most, I promise you.
Uh-oh, here we go.
No, it's sad to say, but all those things that you're saying, I can get for a third of that price, and it's gonna look all good. Literally, all those items, just knock it down a third of the price, and that's
it's
what
gonna
you can
be
get it
from
for.
another country, isn't it?
I mean, I don't know. It's certainly from another company.
Yeah, I don't know. I do like the model of it's simple. It's American made. It's for dudes. I like that you can buy things individually, and they also have outfits and packages you can get. They were coming in the tank looking for $200,000 for 8%. Their sales up to this point, $300,000 in 8 months. That's not bad.
No,
That's pretty good. Only online. It sounds like they want to continue only online, which I think is kind of the right way to go. I don't think they need a store on this one. Maybe down the road.
Yeah, could I? I'm gonna give them, but they have like their own warehouse and things like that, right?
Yeah.
So this is where you can kind of make it local and really cool. Do a warehouse sale every Saturday, right? Because you have no idea the amount of pieces you really go through, for lines and things like that. And maybe it's because the factory that I've seen literally produces so much. Like any Disney stuff that you see is licensed through Jerry Lee, Dickies, Tommy Bahama, and things like that. So he owns so many or licenses out to so many different places that they are a multi-billion-dollar company. This company's making $300,000, but what they do every Saturday from the pieces that they test out and whatever, they sell to the public for like $5.
That's
now, obviously, this you can't really sell for $5, but maybe now this would be a great time to sell discounted pants for $30.
That's not a bad idea.
And start like a local thing, and and again, it's just a suggestion. It's not going to save the business.
Literally just open up the doors to the warehouse.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I like that. Makes it more visceral.
But what I liked that Damon was, he said he said this towards the end, but it really resonated of and there's the difference between designers and clothing businessmen.
Yeah.
You don't really know your worth.
Yeah. Ah, man, I really liked this one.
I like the design.
I don't know why,
but the business is not quite there.
It's not quite there, and I think that they should have taken a deal that was offered to them. I thought it was a fair deal. They came in $200,000 for 8%. Kevin offered them $200,000 at 50%. I wouldn't have taken that.
No, but
Robert
was much more fair.
Yeah, $100,000 line of credit. That's what they were going. Come on, that's a good deal. That's a good deal. I mean, it's impressive, by the way, I forgot to mention that they started this business on a $10,000 investment. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So kudos to them for that. But I would have taken the Robert deal, $200,000 for $25,000, $100,000 line of credit. They
he was
declined that.
Genuine. He was sincere. That was the way to go.
And he liked the clothes. And then I do think that they're going to be successful and have a business without these sharks right now. I just think it'll take more time.
Absolutely.
And
they should have, however you needed to entice Damon, they should have been able to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, they should have really gone in going after him. But I think I'll be a customer, Phil. I think I'll be a customer of the Buck Masons.
There you go.
You want to go shopping with me on buckmason.com?
Maybe. Here's a tip for you guys, right? Most of you probably know this. Some of you maybe not. But just I get my clothes on the cheap, and the way I make them look expensive, just get them tailored, right?
Oh,
so let's say you take a
$12,
$15 shirt, get it tailored for, I don't know, what is it, $8? Now you got a shirt that looks so well put together, like it cost you $200.
Phil,
all because of that.
That was a major pro tip that you just rained on me. I've never thought about that before.
That's how you do it.
Now, what is the secret? Pitch this in the tank and I'll buy it, to making my clothes not shrink when I wash them.
It's just cold water. I don't know.
I do it every time. I swear. Always 3 sizes smaller.
My clothes don't shrink. I don't know. Is it the dryer? I think it's then it must be the dryer.
It might be the dryer. I don't know.
Life tips from Cam and Phil.
Life tips from Cam and Phil. Tune in every week here on AFTERBUZZ TV. Any other thoughts on Buck Mason there? Oh, whoa, what was that? I like that.
We have a stinger.
Oh, let's hear it again on AFTERBUZZ TV. That's right, the scoop's here. on Shark Tank After Show. Buck Mason, Phil, any other thoughts there?
Nah.
All right, fair enough. Let's
Hey,
go
good
on
guys.
to
Good guys.
Noene USA. I took a very dramatic sip of my
You did.
Noene USA, high-tech insoles for your feet, 100,000 for 10%. They're coming in. I'm very, very confused by this pitch. I understand kind of what this gentleman is pitching, but I don't understand how the company is structured. Can you explain that to me, Phil?
It's through a European brand because they sell a lot of insoles.
Right.
So he has one product line of a multitude of product lines, and that's what he's there on behalf of.
So he is. So does he own part of that company, Noene, or does he own the thing that he's like?
He owns the thing.
He owns the thing, and so what does Noene have to do with it?
They own his ass.
See, that's what I didn't understand. Where's the Noene guy? Where is he? Why isn't he in pitching? So anyhow, this thing was pretty cool. The demonstration was pretty on par, I think. The glass bouncing the balls, it just kind of hit flat on the table. That was pretty cool. And I wonder if there's an application for something outside of shoes for this technology. He talked about maybe doing grips on bats and stuff, but I'm thinking, like, can you coat your house in this stuff to protect against wind damage, things like that? I don't know.
Or bullets for the gangsters.
Or bullets. What do you think about this one?
I thought this was actually a really good thing. I was nervous for him for a little bit.
Yeah.
Perhaps he wasn't the best presenter. However, again, good product, and I think that's what won out in the end.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he made a good deal. I think he got the right sharks. Because Mark kind of understood it as, he's in the athletic world. And Damon obviously would have a field day with this thing. It was really kind of crazy how that thin little dime thinness could prevent all that shock. It was pretty. I mean, pretty impressive.
He definitely knew how to present it well, and you always want to have a hook, right?
Yeah.
He had a hook, line, and sinker right from the beginning. It was just a matter of how it was going to structure, and it almost became the more and more he talked, the worse it became. So it was all right, who wants to make a deal?
Yeah.
We good? Good.
They have, what was he saying about the $1 million? He has 4 partners. They're all in at 25%. They're all willing to invest $250,000 a piece. That was kind of random, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, we've gotten that in the past. I mean, venture capital is ready to invest, and then people just, you have various partners that are pre-existing or on the table. So that's what he was presenting.
How nervous would you be going in the Shark Tank, pitching, accepting or declining a deal on behalf of so many other people? I would not be able to stand the pressure. That's all I'm saying. It
would depend heavily what the partners thought, right? And you obviously have to have a very very big debate about it. And it's one of those things like, either they all agree to a certain set of terms, or it's like, hey, you know what? They all agree that you're going to do it. If there's any sort of disagreement in tactic, policy, whatever the case may be, then it becomes a little more difficult. But if you agree on certain things, then it just becomes hard to say, okay, the max that we were going to go is 20 to give up 25% equity. Right. That might be a little bit too much. That's not what we agreed to. Or if they give him full range to do something, then it comes down to them. And then if they believe in him, then great. But if all of a sudden he comes back and he sold 40% of the company,
right?
they might not be so happy.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where this one goes. I'm a fan of it. I like the technology. I feel like I don't use insoles as much as I should, but I might try this one. Because it made the ball not bounce, Phil. How could you not get it?
I love insoles.
I'm going to have to get in that market. Do you take your insoles to be tailored?
No, you can't.
Damn. Well, it was worth a shot. So Mark makes an offer contingent on several different things. Contingent on Damon's involvement. Contingent on the science is legit, which it seems to be. And the offer is $100,000 for 20%. Damon says, I want in for another $100,000 for 20%. And they talked that down to 30, and they got themselves a deal.
Darn right.
That was Noene. Any other thoughts on that guy, Phil?
I'm happy for this guy.
I think it was a good product.
I think he deserves it.
Yeah, he had a great demonstration. He could probably he'd be a good guy at doing infomercials, I feel. And I mean no disrespect by saying that. He was good with the things. It was good stuff.
That's a compliment.
I think so, right? You could be the next Billy Mays. That's a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, there you go. I think that's it for all the businesses. Shall we do the update?
Heck yeah.
Let's hit it. Pork Barrel Barbecue. From season 1.
That's a throwback.
That's a long time ago. They originally...
It's almost like...
And this one time at band camp.
That's almost exactly
It's one of those days where Phil's getting happy with the soundboard, and I love it. Do you have one for that?
I got some fun ones. I'll see. Give me a moment.
Okay, I'll give you a moment. Stuff. Season 1 on this one, they did a deal with Barbara, 50,000, 50%, and they've made $10 million in sales in the past 5 years, and they made a deal at Sam's Club for $2 million, that's a crazy big deal.
You're explaining like crazy stuff to me.
That's what you're doing.
I love it so much. I really do. They're in 5,000 stores, pushing on to 8,000 total, another 3,000 on the way, and they opened a restaurant. These guys are living the dream. This is exactly what they wanted. They have a rub. They have a restaurant. They have it all.
Engineer, Leonard.
Do you remember this one, Phil? Have you bought their stuff?
I have not, unfortunately. I do remember them. I haven't bought their stuff, though.
It's amazing, though. It's amazing that a company like that can just kind of enter the food world among the others and kind of
make
it, I think.
Here's kind of like a sad thing.
Oh, jeez.
No, I don't, I would say I probably never purchased anything from Shark Tank. It's not like a diss towards any of the products. No, but I just haven't.
I don't know that I have either. Maybe the Scrub Buddy or whatever that, Scrub Daddy. Think that's
Scrub what?
Scrub Daddy? Remember Daddy Scrubs? Wasn't it Scrub Daddy with the smiley sponge that Lori invested in? It's made like $30 million.
I'm pretty sure. Wait, is that Horrible Bosses use Scrub Daddy? Is that what you're thinking of?
No, I think
Horrible
Scrub Daddy
Bosses
was
using that. And were they making fun of this then?
I'm gonna solve this mystery right now.
No, because Scrub Daddy was, I promise you, was in Horrible Bosses too. It really was.
Scrub Daddy, Shark Tank. It's on there. Yeah, you remember this one?
I sense that's not sincere, although I have no idea why.
It is sincere. I'm going to go buy a Scrub Daddy tomorrow, just so I can say next week that I own something from Shark Tank. I'm going to make it happen, Phil.
All right, fair enough. You should. Hey, I'm not saying I'm just saying, it's more of a fact than a judgment or a criticism.
I know. It's interesting, though. But there's a lot of, seemingly niche products that I just don't have a need for, like the beard cream and the baby things. The several baby things.
Just doesn't appeal to you?
No. The one I might get for the next time I fly with somebody else is the one you can attach a chair to the back of a suitcase. That's the one I want so I can sit in it.
Okay.
That's it, Phil. That is it for episode 26. Remind everybody next week, May 1st, Beyond the Tank premieres after Shark Tank, and I am very excited to see that show, as I think we all are. Steph Z is going to be back next week. Like us, tweet us, subscribe to us in iTunes, SoundCloud, AfterBuzzTV.com, at AfterBuzzTV on Twitter, hashtag ABTV Shark Tank. I'm Cameron Lewis at The Only Camshaft on Twitter and Instagram. Phil Svitek, where can they find you?
You can find us here at AfterBuzz TV, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, hashtag ABTV Shark Tank, and it's going to be crazy. I think we'll spend 5 minutes talking about Shark Tank, and the rest just talking about Beyond the Tank.
That's what's going to happen, and I'm looking forward to it so much. So until then, we'll see you guys later.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.